right now, 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 right now. Oh, I got a real good feeling.
We try to bring you high-quality educational and informational content every single day. Why do you think the price is having such an anemic time? The news story of the hour. Jump onto the chart. Is this the beginning of a massive financial unraveling? We've got to add a little addendum to the show map today. So we start here on the daily. Now, we've been looking at the RSI on Bitcoin's daily chart for the last several days. It always has been, but it's been increasing over the last 50 years since the government has been getting bigger. Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and welcome back to Coffee and Crypto Live. This is your week daily morning show where we bring you the latest and everything Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, and I do apologize for the delay and the change of scenery. We had just about everything that could possibly go wrong for the stream go wrong in this morning. But we're here, and we're ready to analyze some cryptocurrency. As you guys know, we like to talk about the technicals, the fundamentals, the economics, the geopolitics, and every other aspect of cryptocurrency that we can to come to a better understanding of where cryptocurrency is going and how we can make the most profit through our trading and our investing in said market. Very excited to be here. Also very, very excited about the Discord server. Shout out to everybody over there that I was talking to yesterday. Shout out to Phil and Upside and Emery especially. Got NFT Swizz over there. R said loving the videos lately in the Discord server. If you guys haven't already, make sure to check it out. As you can see, there's a bunch of information. There's a bunch of stuff going on. All of this was yesterday. All of this was yesterday. Ton of activity over there. Would love, love, love to meet you guys. Get to talk to you one-on-one. I've been jumping in calls. Being able to get to know you guys. Very, very excited to have the Discord server back. So shout out to everybody who is over there. If you haven't already, make sure to sign up, or make sure to not sign up. Make sure to join. It's not sign up. It's free. But I'd love to meet all of you guys over there. Thank you so very much for tuning in. Let's go ahead and read some names, and we're going to jump straight on into some technical analysis. Crypto Mini Bike is in chat, said, morning, everyone. Good morning to you as well. Philly Skills 1428 said, morning, my guy, Jeb and Crypto Fam. Good morning to you as well, Philly Skills. Queen's in chat. Alex Nivo, Robert Kehoe, Will Bird. Not Will Burr, Will Bird. I have the Beholders in chat. Y2K OG. I'm from the Y2K era. I was born in 2000. Who else is ready for Gary to get fired or resign? Yeah, he was at the FSC, the Financial Services Committee, yesterday, and he was put under some pretty intense questioning, and those questions did not end very well for him. He was put on blast for having worked for Goldman Sachs for 18 years, and the fact that he has stated in previous speeches that he's very concerned. He's very, very concerned about the amount of disruption coming to banks as a result of digital assets. Very interesting stuff. Definitely make sure to go and check it out. Someone said to go ahead and update the Discord server invite. I think it should be good, but let me just go ahead and I will put a new one in here. Hopefully it didn't expire. I don't believe it did. Just go ahead and give that to you right there. PLA man, Plamen Alexiev. I'm going to say that. Can you please update the Discord invitation? Is it not working? Because if it's not working, I'll make sure to put an updated link in the what am I trying to say? The description. So thank you very much. Silvadala is in chat. Also, passive income with AI is in chat. AI is going absolutely crazy. By the way, that is a very good place to start because you don't want to miss this. This is huge, huge news. You just reminded me of this. Going to OpenAI. If you guys don't know, OpenAI are the creators of ChatGPT, one of the most used artificial intelligences by the public at current. This post is one of the most significant posts of the year by anyone. Let me just make a bold, brash statement here for a second. The tweet that I'm about to read to you is one of the most important tweets of 2023. We've had some pretty big tweets. We've had tweets, in cryptocurrency. We've had tweets in global politics. This is one of the most important tweets this entire year. Let me go ahead and read this. And you might wonder, well, how does this incorporate into Bitcoin and cryptocurrency? I'll explain very simply. There is something called the ABCDs of tech. You have A, which is artificial intelligence. You have B, which is blockchain technology. You have C, which are computer chips. And you have D, which is data. Those four things make up the bleeding cutting edge of the tech space, and all four of them are remarkably important. Artificial intelligence, of course, one of them, and OpenAI obviously has one of the most potent artificial intelligences created. OpenAI tweeted yesterday, ChatGPT can now browse the internet to provide you with current and authoritative information, complete with direct links to sources. It is no longer limited to data before September 2021. That's a very important development. Since the original launch of browsing in May, we've received useful feedback, updates including following robots.txt and identifying user agents so sites can control how ChatGPT interacts with them. Browsing in particular is useful for tasks that require up-to-date information. So, that is absolutely a useful thing to know. ChatGPT can now surf the internet. Are we moving into some kind of Orwellian slash Terminator-esque future? Maybe. I think that it's not going to happen for a very long time. But that is a very important update because now one of the most powerful artificial intelligences that is open source and publicly available to everyone can now browse the internet and give you up-to-date information. It's going to be very interesting to see how people get their information from OpenAI, from OpenAI's ChatGPT, and how ChatGPT interprets the news. Because everyone that interprets news is going to give it a political spin, whether they think they're unbiased or not. It's going to be extremely interesting to see how this impacts politics and elections. That's one of the biggest things that I'm most interested in. All right, let's go ahead and jump straight on over to CoinMarketCap. As you can see, Bitcoin is currently trading at $26,700. It is up minorly over the last hour, up slightly over the last 24 hours as well. And this is the thing that I want to talk about today. This is the event in cryptocurrency that I am quite excited about. And that is this rally right here on Bitcoin. You see, there are a couple of downtrends that Bitcoin is under. It's under that longer-term downtrend, but it's also under this shorter-term downtrend. Let's start with our longer-term perspective. Long-term perspective is thus. Bitcoin has been in a substantial downtrend for the last few months. That downtrend has been defined by this downtrending level of resistance, a key right here. But Bitcoin has not managed to break through that. Every time Bitcoin has rallied to that downtrending level of resistance, it has failed to break through it. We did attempt a rally just yesterday, in which in the early morning, Bitcoin rallied very aggressively all the way up here to $26,800. But with Bitcoin rallying up to $26,800, it was not able to actually break through that resistance level that was set based on these levels back here. Instead, Bitcoin went through a flash crash and held this uptrend. But the important news is it held this uptrend, and Bitcoin has started to rally once again. Looking at our volume, we can see the volumetric data down here shows us that Bitcoin has undergone a second rally, not just in price action, but also in volume. These are large green candlesticks we're seeing in the last several hours, and they're also backed up by large amounts of green volume. Above average volume on the hourly chart. On the 4-hourly chart, same shtick. We're seeing 3 green candlesticks in a row. This one's about neutral, so basically like 5 green candlesticks in a row. We also saw a hammer formation down here. This is a very important technical indicator that indicates, technical chart formation that indicates that a bottom has come into play. That candlestick formation, followed by the green that has followed it, is quite bullish. Now, at the time of recording this, at the time of being live, Bitcoin is testing that same resistance level at $26,700. The question now becomes, are we going to see a breakout as we are live? And I think that's something that we want to take very seriously. So I'm going to go ahead and go to another chart that's going to be a little bit cleaner so that we can get a better understanding of what's going on here. Let's go back down to the hourly chart and we'll redraw our trend lines that are significant. That trend line is, of course, right there from our June highs. And then also there's another downtrend right here that I would argue is significant. At the same time, we also have a horizontal line that I would want to draw right there. Go ahead and set that as red for resistance. There's times, by the way, while I'm drawing this, that I'll set something as brown. I mean red. I'm colorblind. So if I do that, feel free to laugh at me. I am not offended. Let's see. So we have all of these red resistance levels, and you can see Bitcoin is currently punching through them right now. So as traders, we want to see what we're going to do about this. If I was on an exchange right now and not live streaming, I'd be very interested in trying to set up a plan for a trade. So let me walk you through my process. I'm not coming into this with a plan for this trade, so let's go ahead and analyze how we want to go about this first and foremost. First thing we want to do is we want to remember a few principles. Those principles, and I will switch back to the screen if something starts to move more aggressively. The first principle is that we don't enter a trade right around support or resistance. We wait until we've broken above or rejected from a level of resistance to enter into a trade. If you enter into a long before you've broken the resistance, I'm sorry, but you've made a foolish decision, and you would be best to get out of that trade as quickly as possible. Have I made myself clear? Yes, okay. Of course, I'm joking. about the have I made myself clear part. The fact of the matter is that if you enter right around a downtrending or just a flat level of resistance, what's going to end up happening is you're taking on a huge amount of risk without any confirmation. And a good example of what I'm talking about is right now. Bitcoin has broken slightly above this uptrending level of support, but it hasn't actually cleared it. It hasn't cleared the launch pad. And so because it hasn't done that, entering into the trade right now carries a high risk of a drop. And remember, the success in trading comes down to risk and reward. It comes down exclusively to your risk and reward. How much reward are you getting for how much risk you are taking? Entering into a trade right now is extremely risky, and there is reward, but not potentially as much. It's going to throw your risk to reward ratio off. What you want to do here is you want to make a decision. Do you want to try and trade this movement right here up to the downtrend? You can do that. It's more of a scalp trade, that's a day trade. And there's a day trading opportunity right here. You could enter into a trade right now, and you probably make profit, right? Your plan, and if you have an exchange open, you can look into this. The plan, I'd say wait until we get above where we currently are. Put your exit up here. Pull in that stop loss. Make it a tight stop loss. Look for some technical confirmations of what we're looking for. The main thing I'm going to want to look at is the 20 exponential moving average. So let's go ahead and turn the 20 EMA on. Looking at the 20 EMA, obviously we're going to be above that on everything. But even down here on the minute chart, what are we looking at? We're massively above all of our moving averages. We're in a huge blow off top. The concern that I have here is that we may have actually already missed this movement. This is a pretty big movement that you would have been able to find on the minute chart, like down here, breaking above the 20. So you're kind of entering in the middle of a movement. But you can trade this. It would just be risky. I'm not sure I would, personally. I'm not sure I would trade this. I'm not sure I would take this trade. But if you're going to make the trade, this is probably something it would look like. You'd probably have wanted to enter a little while ago, and you'd probably want to hold it all the way up here to about 26,918. Use that very tight stop loss, and on these more risky trades especially, you could consider using a trailing stop loss. The problem here is that you're trying to catch the last third of the movement to the upside. I would definitely recommend being extremely cautious about a trade like this if you're going to take it. What I would also recommend, though, if you're a trader or if you're an investor, is to look into Bitcoin breaking above this position right here, above $27,000. If Bitcoin starts breaking above this downtrending level of resistance, breaking above $27,000, that's when we can start entering into a much larger trade with a movement perhaps all the way back up here to 27.5. This is absolutely a trade that I would be interested in taking, and part of the reason for that is out on the daily chart, we are witnessing a large green candlestick forming. We're also seeing MACD is bouncing bullish off of itself. RSI is crossed bullish. Both of these will end up crossing their center line. RSI already has. MACD will soon if we remain bullish. And if you look at Lux Algo, we can remember that we still have green trend catcher. And if we move much farther to the upside, we may even see a buy signal. That would be a wonderful sign that we would be very interested in trading. You see the trend catcher has started to reverse. And that kind of brings me to another principle of technical analysis that I want to break down for you. All of this is in Club DeFi, and we're going to make even more content on this in the future. But one of the other principles I want to make of trading and technical analysis and marrying the two together is quite simply that when you have a trend, there's a trend reversal. You have the downward movement, which is where you don't want to enter into a trade. You have the sideways movement, which is where you could enter into the trade, but you want to take a lot of caution with that. And then there's the upwards movement. Every time a market bottoms out, it kind of goes through this bowl formation. And you can see what that looks like over here on the daily chart. You're moving down, then sideways, then up. Right now, we're still in that sideways motion. If you're trying to enter into a long trade on a inter-day trade, as in multiple days on end, like a swing trade, you're going to want to wait until you break above this level at 27,000 because that's when you can confirm that the market's actually moving up. Right now, we're still in a general sideways movement. But if we do have that happen, then there's a trade there, of course. So let's look back down the 5-minute chart because Bitcoin's breaking up. Again, I said that you could have entered here a little while ago. Use that trailing stop loss. Remember, I recommend a basic 0.1% trailing stop loss. If you had have entered the trade that I recommended about 5 minutes ago, you'd already be in profit if you were utilizing that 0.1% trailing stop loss. There's a place, and there's absolutely a very important place for making trades with a plan, and you execute the plan. You don't use a trailing stop loss. Oftentimes, though, when you're using riskier trades like this and you're just trying to get something, this is a more risky trade. If you're just trying to get some kind of profit, you can use that trailing stop loss to lock in some gains because you think, oh, it may go through some of the trade, but it may not go through all of it. So you can see Bitcoin here is moving up above this downtrend, moving up to the next downtrend as we anticipated it would. Again, this is high risk. There's definitely been a high likelihood that this wouldn't happen, especially since we already broke through the buy signals take profit. The buy signal came in here on Lux Algo. If you had have listened to the buy signal and made the trade, you would have made 1% using leverage. You could have made, I don't know, if you're using 30x leverage, for example, you could have made 30%. Now, if you're using 30x leverage, remember to use 30 times a smaller stop loss. Nevertheless, the buy signal here and there, both of them were very, very accurate. Bitcoin is in the middle of a breakout, and so that leads us to asking the question, where does Bitcoin go next? I want to look at this from more of a macro standpoint at this point, for the simple reason that this is turning into a macro movement if Bitcoin breaks above its next level of resistance. There's not much more room to go down on that shorter term movement before we hit that downtrending level of resistance. And if Bitcoin does hit that downtrending level of resistance, we need to be prepared. Go ahead and delete that trade setup because it's already played out now. Actually, I'll leave that there because it hadn't fully played out. The next movement that Bitcoin would undergo would be a movement above that major downtrending level of resistance. I'm just going to go ahead and update the title and make sure that people know because the title right now is Major Bitcoin Rally Could Be Days Away, and now it looks like it's actually happening. So let me just update that. Major Bitcoin Rally Happening Live. Very exciting. Let's go ahead and Bitcoin is popping, someone said. Absolutely. Let's see. That was I'm My Hero. Shout out to you, I'm. But yes, so the next thing that we need to analyze here is whether or not Bitcoin is going to break above that next downtrending level of resistance. I've already cluttered up this chart, but let me just go ahead and remove a few things so you can see more clearly. This major downtrend has been in play since the 13th of June. It's been here for quite some time, and Bitcoin has been under that downtrend and has been unable to break above it. Eventually, Bitcoin will, of course, break above it. If you watched my video yesterday, if you haven't, I highly recommend it. I talk about why Bitcoin is not dead, why Bitcoin is going to thrive, and why it's going to succeed very, very much. It's going to succeed very, very well and quite a lot over the next several years. One of the things I discussed in that video was the fact that Bitcoin is an inflation hedge unlike anything humankind has ever seen. So there's a lot of value behind Bitcoin, and it's going to break the downtrend. It's going to go up. The question is when. Right now, it kind of looks like now. If you look on the 4-hourly chart, something that's very encouraging and something that may make you think, okay, I'm ready to go into a swing trade, is we broke above the 20 exponential moving average on the 4-hour chart. 8-hour chart, we broke above the 20 exponential moving average. It's an important moving average on the 8-hour chart. Daily chart, we're above it as well. We've not come back and back tested it to confirm it as support, but we're above it. Bitcoin is in very good shape for a long. And so this is a long that I'm considering. This shorter term long, not too interested in it because we've already played out the majority of the movement from the break of the 20 moving average all the way up to the downtrend, about 2% movement. The thing I'm more interested in is the trade above the downtrend right here if we break above that. Because if we break above that downtrend here, we're probably going to go to 27.5. And then if we go to 27.5, because we have all of that exuberance, we may end up even going back into a major rally. This could be day 1, hour 0 of a major rally on Bitcoin that could lead Bitcoin back to local high around $31,000 over the course of the next several weeks and months, especially moving into the season of flatline interest rates, maybe one more hike. So what do we do with this? I think what we want to do here is we want to look at that longer term perspective and we want to look at this trade. I also want to look at the longer term perspective from the technical indicator standpoint. Let's look out on the 3-daily chart. One of the things on the 3-daily chart that's very exciting to me and that gives me this idea that we may be about to see a major movement is that the MACD is converging bullish. In fact, it's already crossed bullish. It's a big deal. You can also see here that RSI has managed to break above the 14 interval moving average and is moving to the upside, and we're right below the 20 exponential moving average. I will probably end up making today's video on just that. I think I will actually make that video right here. Probably as soon as I'm done live streaming, I'll go ahead and record a video on that and just briefly explain what I'm seeing there. But I do believe that Bitcoin is in a great position right now to go back to $31,000 in the next 3 to 4 months. And so I'm very excited to be sharing that news with you. Let's go ahead and read chat. Really appreciate all of you guys tuning in, and very excited to be here with you guys. The downtrend isn't over yet. Why are you talking about 31K, lol? Well, because the downtrend will eventually end, and it has not ended yet. And it's very important to understand that. You say it's most likely going to be rejected here. There's absolutely a likelihood that it could be rejected. We're talking about the hopeful scenario. Of course it could be rejected. The question is, will it? Bitcoin is wedged between a rock and a hard place right now, and so that means the bulls and the bears have to choose. It's wedged between this flat level of resistance and this downtrending level of resistance right there. Eventually, the volatility is going to end up kicking it in one of two directions. And there can be a bit of seeming randomness to that. It's not truly random because it is actually driven by market participants, but there is a seeming randomness to it where it's difficult to tell because one movement could end up causing a massive rally. Joel said it's safer to tell people it's risky to go long here. Joel, you're right, and that's what I'm saying. I would not enter into a long at this point unless you want to take on a lot of risk because we've not broken the resistance. Joel, what we're saying, and you're right on this, so I appreciate you pointing that out, is that we have not seen the break of that downtrend yet. If we see the break of that downtrend, that's where there's a long trade. I'm not sure if you were here earlier, Joel, but one of the things that I was talking about is it's a very unwise idea to enter into a rally, or excuse me, to enter into a trade right around the right around the level of resistance. You want to enter into a trade. You want to be exiting your long as you approach the level of resistance, entering into your long after you pass the level of resistance. It's unwise to enter into a long before you break the level of resistance. So please, if I didn't make that clear enough by drawing the trade setup here and visually showing it, don't enter into the long until you've broken that downtrend with confidence. And with confidence means a lot of volume and a couple or three technical indicators that you trust and have back tested to confirm that Bitcoin has actually gone through that breakout. As far as this trade's concerned now, I am going to go ahead and delete that because there's nothing left to do there. Bitcoin has run through all of that. That was a very hopeful trade. It did make a little bit of money. As you could see, you can kind of watch back on the stream. You'd see that it would have made a little bit of money. Not much, because the main trade actually should have been entered probably back here at about 7 to 8 p.m. last night, because that's when we broke the 20 EMA. That's when we saw the MACD cross bullets. That's when we saw us break above the 14-interval moving average. That's when we saw Lux Algo Lux Algo was already under a buy signal at that point. Actually, it was under the sell signal, but it was crossing bullish, and there was a lot of green volume. So you're done with this trade now. Do not enter a trade here. Do yourself a favor. Don't enter a trade under this downtrend. By the downtrend, I'll just go ahead and color this as like a yellowish color to signify its significance. We've got ketchup and mustard on our stream. This downtrend right here is the one that we need to break above. We break above that, we're going to be in good shape. But again, we need a confirmed break. That's a big level of resistance. And so to just say, oh, we've broken above it because we've gone $5 above it, that's not a breakout. I'm talking about a massive, massive breakout. I'm talking about something that has a lot of volume and a lot of confirmation. And that could be, honestly, nothing but minutes away, which is why one of the reasons why we're watching this so closely. Now, one of the things I also want to talk about are the other moving averages. You can see that we have been entering into a bearish alignment of moving averages. I like to talk about the alignment of moving averages because I think they're very important. You have the 50, the 200, the 100, and the 200. As you can see right here, we have excuse me, that's the 20 EMA. I apologize. I didn't think that looked right. So we have the 50, the 100, the 20, the 50, the 20 EMA, then the 50, 100, and 200 SMAs. You can see that we're essentially in a bearish alignment of moving averages at this point. We're having a lot of moving averages converge in a way that is not bullish. But as Bitcoin breaks through these, especially as Bitcoin breaks above that downtrend, which you can see right there, and as Bitcoin breaks above this moving average right here, which is the 100 moving average, that's when we're going to be able to start having some confidence that we're going through a major breakout. And don't ignore those moving averages. A lot of times they're as important, if not more important, than the actual trend lines, because the moving averages are the things that people are really looking at. The trend lines are looking at too, but the moving averages just show up on people's charts, so it's easier for people to understand. Bitcoin must get above the 100 moving average to go into a rally. 100 moving average, just clearing the noise so you can see a little bit easier, is this moving average right here. This moving average has been a critical level of support over the last several months, over the course of the year for Bitcoin, and it's also where we cleanly rejected multiple times. The first time being Tuesday, August the 29th, when Grayscale won their case, and the second time was back here on Tuesday, September the 19th. With Bitcoin going through a rally right now, if Bitcoin does break above 27,300, then we will be looking for a major rally to form on Bitcoin, one that we would obviously be closely following, and one that I think could bring about quite a lot of investor profit. The good news is, and the early warning sign, is that Bitcoin has broken the 20 exponential moving average, and that is encouraging. Now, let's bring our charts back, because on the hourly chart, you can see we're right below that downtrending level of resistance right now, and the question becomes whether or not we will reject here. Here's the deal, and this is where people get confused sometimes. It doesn't really matter to you all that much whether it gets rejected or not. It doesn't really matter all that much whether or not Bitcoin actually breaks above that downtrend for your trading. And the reason is because Bitcoin doesn't break above that downtrend, then you don't enter the trade and you're safe. If it does break above that downtrend, then you enter the trade. You end up putting yourself in a very risky position if you don't look at it that way. You want to look at it without an emotional lens, and you want to look at the trade opportunity as just that, an opportunity. If you get the opportunity to take the trade, then wonderful. If you don't get the opportunity to take the trade, then don't worry about it. Others will show up. Joel said, Joel and Haley, Woodstra is your full name. So hi to Joel and Haley. He said, thanks, man. Just tired of hearing so many YouTubers pushing trades at risky spots. Take care. You're doing good work. I appreciate it, Joel. And I'm perfectly fine with you or anybody saying, hey, Jeb, what about this? I do not mind being corrected and or confronted on stream about something that is not correct. I'd rather be humbled and have you guys walk away with correct information. And if what I was trying to say was not clear enough there, I do apologize. Absolutely wait for a confirmed breakout to go into a trade. And if you're going to enter in a trade when you've already seen 2/3 of the price movement, then make sure that you're using a very tight trailing stop loss. And make sure that you're not over leveraging yourself. And if you're not going to use a stop loss and you're going to use leverage, just don't. Just don't do that. All right. All righty. Joel said, I'm not denying the possibility of a mass breakout right now, but be careful. We're still in low liquidity. And when you look at the Dixie, it could be a simple correction like it had been for weeks. Absolutely. And that is something good to mention as well. This is something we've been talking about all week, is the Dixie. Right now, the dollar currency index is in a longer term rally. Over the last 24 hours, it's been in a correction. So a lot of the bullish movement on Bitcoin, you can correlate to the Dixie. If you're not familiar with the Dixie, it's the dollar currency index. It is the indice that tracks the strength of the United States dollar against a basket of other currencies. And it's highly, highly inversely correlated to Bitcoin. When the Dixie is moving down, Bitcoin's going to move up, almost guaranteed. And that's what we're seeing right now. Dixie's been moving down on the hourly chart. This is the last couple of days. You can see September 28th, September 27th is back over here. With Bitcoin moving up and Dixie moving down, it's no coincidence that those two things are moving in tandem. Now, the other thing to bring up here that is obviously relevant is the SPY. Stock market's gone through a bit of a bounce. That stock market bounce has only been going on for the last little while here. Obviously, we just opened recently, so we saw a bit of rally moving into last night, and then we opened and we're rallying ever so slightly, and that could be giving Bitcoin a little bit of gas as well. If you're a stock market analyst, just a quick update. The SPY is holding on this uptrending level of support. If SPY can hold on this uptrending level of support, then it probably means that Bitcoin will be able to break its downtrending level of resistance, because Bitcoin and SPY are highly, highly correlated. All right, let's read chat here for a little while, and we will keep it moving. Again, appreciate all of you guys for tuning in. Let's see. The issue is that there are such things as wicks. Yes, there are, and that is a very difficult thing to contend with. It's one of the reasons why I like to use a trailing stop loss strategy, but you don't have to do that. And again, guys, if you're a trader, just remember, it's not your job to be right 100% of the time. You don't even have to be right most of the time. You can be wrong 40% of 60% of the time and still make profit trading. The trade calculator, let me pull this up. Your trade could trade calculator, not football. What in the world? There's a bunch of football trade calculator. Trading calculator. There's I think CBFX has one. That's not what I'm looking for. I did not mean to click on your ad. I'm not trying to open a Forex account with you right now. Thank you very much. I don't need Forex. I've got a DREX, digital currency. No, I'm kidding. All right. Coughlin Capital has a good trade calculator. Let's say you're working with $10,000. You can access $10,000 of capital relatively easy using leverage. Just make sure you know what you're doing. If you don't know what you're doing, don't do it. Let me be clear on that. Don't use leverage if you don't know what you're doing. But let's say you're typically risking 1%. Your risk to reward is 3, and your win-loss is 40%. As far as you win, 40% of the time, you're going to end up making 93% return on 100 trades. 100 trades, you're going to end up having 19 grand. And the reason for that is because even if you're only right 40% of the time, if you take a 3% risk to reward, and when you do lose, you only lose 1%, you're going to end up making money on average in the long run. Might not look like it, even in these first 25, 30 trades, but eventually it can take off. If you are right half the time, but you have a 3x risk to reward ratio, you can end up making even more consistent profit. And again, if you kind of reshuffle this, it's random, so it's going to give you different numbers each time. But the idea is you would like to be right half the time. If we can be right half the time that the trade's going to do what we say it's going to do, and we have a correct risk to reward ratio, then we're going to end up making profit. All right. Good deal. Good deal. Yes, and by the way, guys, if you have not already joined our Discord server, definitely join our Discord server. There's a lot going on over there right now. Really excited about what you guys are doing. And it's cool. Look at this. Upside even is telling me, said, hey, Jeb, check the RSI. And he gave me an interesting point that I can now use on stream. So shout out to Upside over there in our Discord server. And he does make a good point. He talks about the bearish RSI divergence that's showing up on the hourly chart. I'll even show it. Give him a shout out. Boom. Said that right there. Jeb, check RSI. Good call. Let's look at RSI. You can see there's an uptrending level of resistance on RSI, downtrending level of resistance on RSI. That does indicate that there could be a bearish correction, and that does give us some kind of idea that, you know what, Bitcoin may end up going through a short-term drop, maybe back down to 26.6, 26.7. There's other levels of support that we could find, of course, in here, like right there or somewhere. And it could drop down, bounce, and then rally again. But that bearish RSI divergence is definitely a bit of a thorn in the side of the bulls at this moment. All right. There's always a pump after a death cross. More pain ahead. You can only avoid the recession for so long. Here's the deal with the death cross. I'll say this, and then I'll go ahead and wrap it out. The death cross is a lot of hype. The golden cross is not. The golden cross is very significant. The death cross is a lot of hype. And I'll prove it real quick. We did just see a death cross. It's true. You see the death cross here, the 50 cross below the 200. And the main reason that people are so freaked out about the death cross is because of its name. If I'm being totally honest with you, that's the main reason people are freaked out about it. If you look at the history of the death cross, there are times that it leads into a bear market. Oftentimes, when it leads into the bear market, when it actually flashes, you've already seen the majority of the crash that it's calling for. You can see here, the death cross happened here. $20,000 was all-time high. It happened when Bitcoin was at 6,700. Death cross happened here at 8,300. Or sorry, we were at 7,000. Bitcoin had just rallied to 13.5. You missed half of the movement. Death cross happened here. Bitcoin was trading at 34,000. All-time high was 65. Death cross happened here early enough to really be useful. This case, it actually was relatively useful. But again, we were already $20,000. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, $20,000 lower than where we... Sorry, $30,000 lower than where we were. We topped out at 69. We were at 40. You'd already missed half the movement. Death cross over here. We were trading at $500. All-time high was 1,200. See the death cross right here. You see the issue. It's such a lagging indicator that it's not the most useful thing in the world. Now, if you look at it, yes, they do tend to give you an idea that you're going into a prolonged downtrend. But here's the other point. If you look at the death cross, because there was almost a death cross right here as well, so we'll just consider that a similar trend. If you look at the death cross, there's two kinds of death crosses. There's a death cross that happens at the beginning of a bear market, and there's a death cross that happens right before a bull market. So they're not always bearish trends. Again, this was not exactly a death cross, but it was close enough for government work. Bull market ensued. Again, let me just show you that so that you understand. I'm not saying it technically was a death cross, but we got close enough that it was a very similar concept. Bitcoin went into a massive bull market. Again, over here, we saw a death cross right before the bull market. Death cross right here, massive rally. Death cross right here. Could we have a few more weeks of bearishness? Yes, for sure we could. Are we going to see that? We don't know. We have to wait and see. I think that Bitcoin is in a solid opportunity right now to go through a major rally. So we're going to keep watching it for just a minute. I'm going to have to wrap it out pretty soon. But I do really appreciate all of you guys for tuning in. And drop a 1 in chat if you're liking the videos that have been going out lately. Really appreciate all of you tuning in to those. And welcome to all of our new subscribers. And welcome to everyone who's joined the Discord server. Love seeing you guys. I'm really, really excited for y'all to be here. All right. Robert Fisher said, click the like. This is good content. Thank you. I appreciate that. Dylan Martinez also said, yo, check RSI, Jeb. Yep, you're right. All right. Let's see. Cool. All right, guys. Well, look at this. Wow, shout out to everybody who just joined the Discord server. Let's see. I can go ahead and give a shout out to everybody because we just had a bunch of people join the Discord server. Goodness. Bunch of you guys. Wow. Wow. Okay. Okay, I have to learn how this works. Discord's changed a few things. What does this mean? Okay. Shout out to Heath Nar, who joined 3 minutes ago. Shout out to H, who joined 5 minutes ago. Shout out to S. Okay, these guys have their account kind of hidden, but it shows right here. Yeah. Shout out to C. Looks like Charles Hoskinson kind of. Shout out to Honey Badger, who joined 30 minutes ago. I'm not sure if this means that they just joined the server. I think it does, actually. So shout out to all of you guys. If this is the case, then that means that a lot of people have joined the server recently. Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, look at that. Cool. Pablo, Tia Crypto, whose name is Michael. Interesting. Okay. Great. Shout out to all of you guys. All right. Good deal. Got a lot of lurkers in our Discord, it looks like. Make sure to talk. The Delusional says, shout out to Jeb. What's up? Looking for mods? I am absolutely looking for mods. I would love if you could join there and give me a bit of a kind of a informal resume. What do you think you can do to help? Love it. Definitely looking for mods. I really am excited about the Discord server. Shout out from Trinidad y Tobago. Hola para Trinidad y Tobago. I believe they speak Spanish there, right? Oh, I'm gonna feel terrible if they don't. I'm pretty sure it's yes, it is. It's a Hispanic country, as far as it's a Spanish-speaking country. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly. I'm pretty sure I did. BTC pumping. Yes, it is. It's doing well. It's doing well. Yep. Shout out to everybody who's talking in the Discord. Bunch of people in the Discord. Not as many people are talking in the Discord. So shout out to, I mean, there's several people talking in the Discord, but there's a bunch of people lurking in the Discord. So shout out to everybody who's talking. You get a shout out if you want to talk. That's how you get a shout out. I would be more than happy to shout you guys out on talk. No English. English is Caribbean. Oh no, I'm an idiot. Oh man. I'd like to join as a mod. Jump on in, Jay. Got to get a lot of that set up. Oh, we've got a hate comment here. Let's hear it. Anima Vestra Gaming. Crypto is a waste of time and money. It's never getting close to all-time highs. Never mind creating a new one. Why don't you jump in the Discord server and tell us why? I'd love to debate you. I will debate you on that. Calling you out. Join the Discord server. Let's have a chat. Shout out to me, Rizzle. Shout out to you, Rizzle. There you go. How about me, Rizzle? Shout out to you. Appreciate all of you guys for tuning in. All right. Cool. All right, guys. I am going to have to wrap it out. We got a lot of stuff to go. A lot of stuff to do. And like I said, I'm going to go ahead and make that video on some of the longer-term technicals that I think are going to be important for Bitcoin. But I did really enjoy hanging out with you guys. Make sure to hit that like button if you haven't already. By the way, make sure to sign up for Lux Algo if you haven't also, because that is an incredible technical indicator, and I really want to help you guys understand Lux Algo so that you can become a successful trader using Lux Algo. As I said, I am going to have to wrap it out. Before I go, I do just first want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching, as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.